Good day, brothers and sisters. It's your brother Rams here, and I want to wish everybody out there happy and joyous uh, Black History Month. But I'm black every month, so to me, Black History is every month. And as I said, it's something that not just black people should be informed of, but the whole world should be informed of it. Why so, Brother Rams? Because remember, the black man is the original man. He is the original man. And he's called black not because of the color of his skin, because he's called black because from him all color comes. Every race of people came from the original people. And I'm going and that's proven in terms of biblically. Remember, it's called in the New Testament, Acts 17 verse 6. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. In the New Testament, it's called verse 17. Uh, 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 chapter 17 verse 26. Chapter 17 verse 26. And it says in Acts 17 verse 26, God made all nations from one man. Listen to this. God made all nations from one man so they would inherit the whole earth. So not only is black history important for black folks, oh, without a doubt, but the whole world needs to know about the history of the original people because from everybody came from the original people. Everybody came from the original people. Now you can get mad, you get turn your lips up, you can turn red, you can get upset, but the reality is everybody came from the Asiatic black man. And that's why his history is the most important. But at the same token, it's his history that the world must try to keep you from. Because once you know the black man's history, then everybody else's history falls into place. Then there's no wonderment as to where you fit in the human family. But unfortunately, one of our family members, and you know how families are, there's always some wayward one in the family if your family's big enough, that is a mischief maker, doesn't seem to be able to get in line with the rest of the family. And then that's the case of my Caucasian brothers and sisters. They're still our brothers and sisters, but they've been afflicted with this mischief making and bloodshedding. So everybody, every race of people, every group of people need to know the history of the original people. And that's why I deem black history vital, important to the whole world to know the black man's history. Because like I said, it would make things clear to every other race after that. So we did, and I want to say again, happy Black History Month. For me, Black history is, like I said, is every day. That's why I talk about Black history in all my podcasts. I don't need no special month. Like I told you, I'm black every month. There's not one month where I'm not black. So I want that plain from the beginning. And we're going to get into that. And I just want everybody to know, have a enjoyable Black History Month as to what's been designated. May it be filled with much enriching knowledge to lead you from the darkness of ignorance into the light of understanding. And that's the purpose of Black history. Black history ain't just for blacks. It's for the whole world to know. Because the whole world came from the Asiatic black man. Now you can take that and let it alone, but I tell you, it's the truth. It's genetically the truth. It's anthropologically the truth. It's archaeologically the truth. The black man is the original man. So we're going to study and look at the history and the greatness of the original people. But first, I got to start off with this foolishness, brothers and sisters. I got to start off with some foolishness. I hate to have to start off with it, but it's something I got to do because our president, Mr. Trump, has gone stark raving mad. Stark raving man. Now I have no problem calling him a white supremacist and a white nationalist. He has proven it. He's a white nationalist and a white supremacist, and he surrounds himself with white nationalists and white supremacists. That's what he surrounds himself with, white supremacy. And I'll prove it, but you've seen it for yourself. You've seen the video. Everybody done seen the video. And he can sit here and lie all he wants, but proof is in the pudding. All right? Let me talk about this video that he got of my brother Barack and his beautiful wife, Michelle, in ape uniform and an ape outfit. Old stereotype of black people that somehow we're related to the apes. That somehow we're related to that. That's an old stereotype, man, going back. But remember, I told you what's the problem with all of my Caucasian brothers and sisters. They have a problem because they can't go forward. And that's not how time goes. Time does not go back. And that's what Trump wants to take you back to. The time where white supremacy ruled, and God is not going to allow that to happen because that was the past. We've now moved forward. So like I said, let's start with this old foolish video that he posted. Of course, he denied it. All right? The video promoted false claims of voter fraud. There he go with that old lie. Voter fraud, everything, it's a fraud. Oh, this was fraud. This election is fraud. What he's doing, brothers and sisters, and even my brown, red, yellow, and Caucasians of goodwill, like Alex Pretty, what he's doing is he's sowing mistrust in the whole system. He's sowing seeds of mistrust. That's what his point is. To sow seeds, to sow doubt and mistrust in the very foundation of this country. Don't trust something. Why do you think he done confiscated those voting ballots in Georgia, particularly Fulton County? He couldn't believe it. Now, everybody with some sense, and I'm pulling your coat right now, if he takes those things and after they've all been gone over once, twice, everybody has checked them and certified them as legit, if he finds something right now, that should tell you right now he's a criminal and why he should have got convicted. Because there he is messing with the vote. But that's being done to what? He's doing that because he's scared of the midterm elections. The Republicans are scared of the midterm elections. So that's important to understand, brother and sister. So he claims he was talking about voter fraud. And again, of course, is anybody talking about the 25th Amendment? He's mentally unstable, man. He's got he got his keys, his hands on the nuclear code, baby. A pure lunatic. But I'm going to tell you something, America. You put him in office, right? After trying to defend the post, all right, after trying to defend the post and learning, and he left it up for 12 hours. He left it up for 12 hours. So he got a backlash. So, and not just backlash, it was a bipartisan backlash. Republicans and Democrats came out and, nah, man, no good. So now he when he faced this backlash, he took down the post and changed his narrative. You know, that's a slippery, what's it called? Grease pig ain't can't be more slicker and slippery than this guy. He got a new narrative. Now, first narrative is all about voter fraud. Now, once they saw the rest of it, of course, I don't know nothing. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. Right? And they changed the narrative. The new narrative was the video was erroneously posted by one of his staffers. Wait right there. Let's take a look why that's full of ain't worth a hill of beans. Let's take a look at it, brothers and sisters. The video was posted around close to midnight. Let's look at that. Now remember, the narrative is some other staffer put that up. Okay? But it's around midnight. If you look at the history of Donald Trump and his tweeting and twitting and all those words, when does it usually happen? Around midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. He's got all these rants and posts that he decides. I don't understand why he ain't sleep. That tell you something right there. It's crazy as hell. Most normal people would be asleep. Why would you be up 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning posting stuff? Again, where's the 25th Amendment? Where is it? That's what it looks like to me. He's lost it. He has completely lost it. Remember, this is the same president that's suing the government because he wants some money. Unheard of. And you don't think something's mentally wrong? You need to check yourself if you don't think something's mentally wrong. The president's suing his own country that he's in charge of. He's a criminal. Been convicted 34 counts. Convicted felon. And this is what you put in office. So it's usually around this time, 11:45, 1 o'clock in the morning, he starts twitting and tweeting and all of that. So that's his usual time. Now remember, he said it was a White House staffer that did it. So the staffer came into your room at that time, got access to your social media, and posted that foolishness. Come on now. Like they say around where I'm from. They say I was born at night. I didn't say last night. Crazy, man. This dude is really nuts. But the full video was only up for a little over a minute. The full video wasn't up but for only a minute. So see, Trump keeps saying, well, I got to try to review it and all of this. No, there was not much to review. There wasn't much to review, brothers and sisters. But the key is he's not issued an apology because he claims he didn't do it. Sick individual, brothers and sisters. Very sick individual. But I call Trump a white supremacist. Now I have no problem saying it now because he just proved it right there. He can sit here and deny it. You can't convince me, but there's also other factors too. Let me refresh everybody's memory about Donald Trump, the white supremacist and white nationalist. Let's kind of go through a little chronological of his history of racist comments. Okay? Remember in 2017, Trump proposed a series of inflammatory anti-Muslim posts. He took these anti-Muslim posts from a British right-wing account, far right-wing, anti-Muslim in 2017, banning all Muslims. Isn't one of the founding parts of the Constitution is that to have religious freedom? Who told you that this country was supposed to be only for Christians? That doesn't make sense. So he made anti-Muslim rants in 2017. In 2020, he posted a doctored image of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer in Middle Eastern garb. Again, anti-Muslim. These are some of his other racist things that he's done. That was in 2020. 2017, he had anti-Muslim posts. 2018, let's pay attention, 2018, Trump referred to Haiti, El Salvador, and African countries during a meeting in the Oval Office about immigration. And what did he call them? He said, these are shit countries. Excuse my French. They just so happen to be the countries of brown and black people. Haiti, El Salvador, African countries. If Africa's such a shit country, excuse my French, then keep your behind out of there and leave the resources for the people. Since you claim it's supposed to be that. But you know that's a damn lie. You know that's a lie. Another situation. In the fall of 2025, you all remember this. You remember this. He agreed with J.D. Vance. You remember old fool J.D.? I called him J.D. Nitwit. Called him J.D. Nitwit. Remember? Vance said that the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio were eating the neighbors' cats and dogs. And he agreed with him, Donald Trump. Disparaging the dark peoples, the Haitian brothers and sisters in Springfield, Ohio. Eating cats and dogs? Man, are you crazy? But guess what? J.D. Vance later on admitted he made the whole thing up to seek political attention. But he went along with it. Donald Trump, a racist type of statement that the Haitians were eating the neighbors' cats and dogs. That's racist, baby. So there's examples of it. Oh, I forgot. Remember in 2017 in Charlottesville, Virginia? The Nazis was walking through the town with the tiki torches. The Jews won't replace us. The Jews won't replace us. And what did Donald say? Well, there was nice people on both sides. Whoa, are you kidding me? What are you talking about? What nice people? That goes against all of the original Jews and the Jews that came after them. Prejudice, man. Racist. That's what this was about. These were some of his racist comments. This is what he's done. This is Donald Trump. Donald Trump. But now, America, I got to give you a tongue lashing here because you deserve it. Brothers and sisters, you got to understand something. Donald Trump represents the conscience of white America. Brother Rams, you said that before. Yeah, he does. He does. He represents the conscience of white America. Well, what makes you say that? This is an objective fact. And Republicans always throw this up, but now I'm going to throw it back at you. Donald Trump won the popular vote. In previous elections, he didn't win the popular vote. He did not win the popular vote. In 2024, he did. He won the popular vote. So he's the conscience of America. And particularly my Caucasian brothers and sisters. Yes, a few of our foolish Hispanics and foolish Negroes voted for him, but they didn't vote for him to the extent that it actually put him in office. He made some headway, but it wasn't. They weren't the majority. The majority were white people. That's an objective fact. And unfortunately, our sister Kamala, she thought that white women would be more offended by Trump, but in the end, they were not offended like she thought they would be. They went ahead and voted for that misogynist. They went ahead and voted for him. So I just wanted to say that to you, brothers and sisters, that no, Donald Trump has had a history of racist comments, and he can't help it. And then if you've been following him, you'll see that even members of his families have said that at the dinner table and in his house, racial slurs especially the N-word, was used frequently. There was a sister in his first administration, I forgot her name, Omarosa something. I'll get it for you next time. But Omarosa, she left because she couldn't take the use of the N-word. The President of the United States using the N-word? White supremacists. And again, I told you before, birds of a feather flock together. And in this case, remember, who's his main man? Stephen Miller. Elon Musk. Remember Elon? Heil Hitler sign? Stephen Miller got the 3,000 arrest a day quota. No matter how you get them, leading to the deaths of American citizens. These are white nationalists and white supremacists. And they're a danger to our country. And we better wake up. And I know my Caucasian brothers, I see you out there protesting ICE and all that. But again, you put them in office. So you have to be punished because you put a mischief maker and a bloodshedder in office. And of course, he deceived you because he's the master of technology. Remember what technology is? I told you, it's the art of mixing truth with lies, and Trump was very good at it. He did that very well. That's why he fooled a lot of my Caucasian brothers and sisters. But secretively, many of them wanted a Caucasian, a white male that was above the law and have no regard for the law and didn't give a damn about the darker peoples in this country. He represents that mentality. And a lot of my Caucasian brothers and sisters also thought the same as he did. That's why they voted for him. And then when they saw how wicked that really is, and how could you call yourself a Christian? How could you call yourself a Christian? If you notice, Pope Leo don't come over here. He don't come nowhere near America, even though he's from America. Because Pope Leo understands DEI is God-made. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is God-made. So how could you call yourself a Christian and hate your brother? There's a saying in the Bible, how could you have faith in God who you've never seen, but hate your brother who you see every day? And I'm paraphrasing that. My Christian Bible readers, you all know what that's about. So that's important to understand, brothers and sisters. But I just want to say this as I get ready to pivot to Black history. I have one big issue. What's one of the big issues? Two big issues. Affordability and immigration. Let's talk about this thing called immigration. I have a real problem, America. I have a real problem with this. When you see these people talking about immigration on these talk shows, and you see on CNN and ABC on Sunday morning and News Nation and all of these talk shows, and they're talking about immigration, I said, but there's one big problem that I have. What is it, Brother Rams? It is that you don't have any Native American activists on the panel. You don't have Native American analysts on the panel and activists. Where's the Native American? Where's his point of view about this damn immigration thing? You've left them completely out. How? This is his land that you stole, damn it. Let's see his perspective on immigration. Who's, quote, legal and who's illegal. And every black person out there, and brown person, and red person, and even Caucasians of goodwill need to emphasize this point. Why isn't the Native American at the negotiating table when it comes to immigration? because you don't want to hear his story. Because you know once you hear his story that the story you've been telling ain't worth 5 cents, ain't worth 5 cents in a hill of beans. Your immigration argument won't hold beans if the Native American's at the table. That's why you make sure he's not at the table. But I'm saying, damn it, bring him to the table so he can speak the truth to all of you all who stole this land and sit up here smug and, well, you can be in here and no, you can't. You got to go. We got an agency to get you out. How dare you, damn it? Where's the Native American? Bring him up! You'll see for yourself. You'll see for yourself. But right now, brothers and sisters, I had to say that to get that out the way and show my disgust for this white supremacist president that has put up that nasty racist comment video of our beautiful brother, first black president, and his beautiful wife, Michelle Obama. So I had to comment on that first. But we're gonna flip the switch here and go to Black History because this is the Black History time. That was designated by America, and I gotta emphasize that. But right now we're going into that. And one of the first thing is that we gotta understand is who is the father of Black history? The father of Black history. And his name is Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Again, let me say that. That's Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month. He was born December 19th, 1875 in New Canton, Virginia. He died April 3rd, 1950 in Washington, D.C. He founded the Association for the Study of African American and History of African American history. He established, this was the original, he established Negro History Week in 1926. He was a historian, an author, and a journalist. He dedicated his life to bringing contributions and history of Black people to mainstream recognition. He's going to recognize the Black man. Why so? And I got to give you a little commentary about my brother, Carter G. Right? He saw the need for Black people to know something of themselves. And that's one of my big criticism about education here in America. That we're not taught about ourselves. As a matter of fact, we have a president now that's trying to obliterate our people from the history. Remember? Everything Black he's trying to erase. You've seen it. Remember that park up there in Philadelphia? You told them people take down those signs about the Black folks. Take that down. Anything pertaining to Black folks in their history, let's try to obliterate it. Let's try to, quote, whitewash it. This is the son of a white supremacist. Because he believed that only his story is relevant. And that's ignorance. Okay? That's ignorance. But some of his famous books, Carter G. Woodson, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, excuse me, brothers and sisters, was one of my favorites, was called The Miseducation of the Negro. Love that book. And it was printed in 1933. Another one of his books is The Education of the Negro Prior to 1861. Prior to 1861? Yeah. Slavery. You was enslaved. The Education of the Negro then, and that was printed in 1915. These are book and resources that you can pick up. The Miseducation of the Negro, Carter G. Woodson, and The Education of the Negro prior to 1861. And then the third book that everybody should get in their library is The Negro in Our Country, and that was printed in 1922. Carter G. Woodson, brilliant brother, recognized black people and their contributions. Because the Caucasian, as you saw way, way back then, just like now, here it is in the 21st century, still trying to obliterate your history. And that's why I emphasize black history now is needed more than ever, especially among our people. We've got to teach our children our history. We have to. Because if we don't, we'll have no one else to blame but ourselves. That's Brother Carter G. Woodson. Heavy brother. And I want you to understand that. Like I said, my favorite book is The Miseducation of the Negro. Now, Dr. Woodson's main thesis of the book is that black people of his day and today were being culturally indoctrinated. Uh-oh. What happened? They were being culturally indoctrinated. That's my main point. Why I love out that book. We're being indoctrinated. We're not being educated. We're being indoctrinated. I'll say it again. We're not being educated. We're being indoctrinated. Because a true education teaches you of self, and a true education lifts you out of the darkness of ignorance into the light of true understanding. That's what true education's about. That we were being culturally indoctrinated rather than being taught in American schools. We're not being taught in no American schools. You can forget that. You can forget that. We're not being taught in American schools. This condition, he claims, Dr. Woodson claims, causes black people to become dependent. Uh-oh. It causes black people to become dependent and to seek out inferior places in the greater society in which they are a part of. In other words, American educational system promotes black inferiority. It does, because it doesn't teach you about self. All you do is learn about your open enemy and his culture. It doesn't educate you, it indoctrinates you on how to act, how to, quote, get along in American society. And that's in that book, The Miseducation of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Everybody should have it. Everybody should have that book in their library, along with other books. Like I said, one of the other books you should have is Message to the Black Band, Message to the Black Band by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Every black man, woman, and everything in between need to have that book, The Message to the Black Man. And then the third book they should have is How to Eat to Live. Not eat to die, but how to eat to live. Because things are going to get rough in this country. So you got to learn how to survive on one meal a day. Again, the brilliance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one of the great teachers in American history. Okay. So now I'm going over and turn over to my format that I usually have. And the format I usually choose is this. I talk about African kings and queens. Then I come across the water and I talk talk about black scientists and inventors and doctors. And I choose that because I want America to see that not just white people are scientists and have a great knowledge of math and all that. No, no, no. I'm going to debunk that. I'm going to debunk that. But I'm going to start off with Africa. Now, you say Africa. Right. Now, I got to give you the story about Africa, brothers and sisters. I got to give you the story about Africa. First of all, Africa's real name ain't Africa. It was later named. What's the history of the word of where we come from, brother? It was Asia, but the name we gave it was called Al 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 oh Alkebulan. 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 That was Africa's name, Alkebulan. And it means mother of mankind. Uh-oh, that kind of fits in with what? One people, one man is responsible for the birth of nations. And where was that one man? In what you call Africa, but we called it Alkebulan. 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 That makes sense. If mankind came from Alkebulan, then they're the original people. And this language of Alkebulan was used by the Moors. You know the Moors. You know the Moors, the North Africans. Pretty brown, smooth skin, jet black curly or jet black nappy hair. Beautiful Moors. This is what I want you to look up, brothers and sisters. The Moors' contribution to Western civilization. Go to your computer and look that up and read how they contributed to Western civilization. Because Western civilization, they didn't have a clue on how to live. They came out of the caves and hillsides of Northern Europe. Didn't know how to bury their dead. Didn't know how to cook their own food. The Moors called it Alkebulan. The Nubians. You've heard of Nubians. Well, Nubia is now called the Sudan. See, the Sudan is close to where? Egypt. See, Egypt and Nubia were hand in hand. They ruled the world. They ruled the world. So the Moors, the Nubians, and the Carthaginians. The Carthaginians. You know Carthage, Hannibal, and the Ethiopians. They called it Alkebulan. Alkebulan. They called it Alkebulan. All right? But how did it change? How did it get to Africa from Alkebulan? A five-star general, Roman general, tell you who it is, who during the Second Punic War in 202 BC defeated Hannibal in Carthage. He beat him in Carthage, which is present-day Libya and Tanzania. See how all the name, Libya and Tanzania, that was Carthage, where Hannibal came from. You know the elephants, that's how you know the brother has. You don't know him as a hell of a military strategist, a brilliant leader. All you know is he has some elephants. You need to study your history. That's why we're here, damn it. Study Hannibal. I got something for you to study today too, though, brothers. Because it's our time. It's always our time because you're black every month. You're black every month. All right? So it was during the Second Punic War in 202 BC where Hannibal was defeated in Carthage. And that's, again, Carthage was Libya and Tanzania. And what caused the change, he was defeated by this 5-star general, and his name was Scipio Africanus. Scipio Africanus, the white general from Rome. And he defeated Hannibal. So, of course, he named the land after himself, Africanus. Must have been like a Donald Trump type of dude. He want to name everything after himself. He going to name the whole country Africa, from Scipio Africanus, but it's originally called Alkebulan. Alkebulan. And Egypt wasn't Egypt, it was called Kemet. I'm giving you some of your own history. And when the Caucasian brother try to dispute you, and you have a proper knowledge of stuff, first thing you're going to say, let me tell you something. You weren't even around when none of this happened. So how you have any knowledge of my history? But I have knowledge of your history. You have no knowledge of my history because you were never taught any knowledge of my history. So I want you to understand this, brothers and sisters. So when the Caucasian brothers try to dispute you and your knowledge of your history, you say, time out. Time out. Your knowledge don't go back far enough. Your college professors didn't even teach you this. So that's where you put a stop to that foolishness. So Africa's original name was Alkebulan, but it changed because Scipio Africanus defeated Hannibal in the Second Punic War, and that was 202 BC. He defeated Hannibal, so he named Africa after himself. So instead of it being Alkebulan, it's now called Africa. And that's important to understand. That's very important to understand. But like I said, as my usual format, brothers and sisters, I start across the water with the kings and queens of Africa. Because you have a rich history, black man and woman. All you got to do is dig into it. And one thing, once you get into black history that I've noticed, is once you get into it, it's almost like an addiction, man. You want to learn more and more and more. You said, damn, we did that. Man, we did that. Yes, you did, brother. You did that. You're very powerful people. You're very, very powerful people. The first African of great importance, and I'm going to shock some people because they have already some preconceived notions of this. But I'm talking about a gentleman who served as a polymath and a vizier to the Pharaoh Djoser. The Pharaoh Djoser. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, the Pharaoh Djoser is Djoser of the Third Dynasty. He was his right-hand man. He was a polymath and a vizier. Okay, and I'm going to tell you about what those are, a polymath and a vizier. But the person I'm talking about, his name is Imhotep. Imhotep the First. You hear me? And he reigned. I mean, he didn't reign because he was an advisor to, like I said, the Pharaoh Djoser of the Third Dynasty. He was a polymath and a vizier, and I'm going to tell you what those are. But again, Imhotep the First, and his time was from 2650 BC to 2600 BC. He was an advisor, a right-hand man. Now, Brother Rams, you said he was a polymath. What in the world is a polymath? All I know, if you understand words, poly mean many. Now let's break it down. What is a polymath? And that lets you know what Imhotep the First was. A polymath is an individual with deep expertise and knowledge spanning multiple diverse fields. Let me say that again. He's an individual with deep expertise. He's an expert and knowledge spanning multiple diverse fields. And since in multiple diverse fields, he combines them to solve complex problems. You hear me? He combines them to solve complex problems. So he's the right-hand man of the Pharaoh Djoser. He's his advisor. And that's important. He possessed deep knowledge and mastery. Get this, deep knowledge and mastery of science, math, art, and get this, engineering. You mean black men doing all this? Yes. Science and math. You know how we get scared of science and math. Oh, I can't do no science. I can't do math, and that's too hard for me. Shut up and study your history, and you know who you are. Damn it! You are the mathematician. You are the scientist. You are the doctor, the lawyer, the politician. Damn it! This is your history. That's why you must learn it. Brother Ramey seen a little fight. I got to be fired up. It's Black History Month. And we walking around here as the deaf, dumb, and the blind. Because we lack knowledge of self. And your brother's here to give you that knowledge of self. So Imhotep the First was a polymath. You hear me? Was a polymath. The other word is a vizier. A vizier. And what is that? He's a high-ranking political advisor. He's a minister, and he's a chief administrator in Islamic State, a vizier. And if you look at, there's the root word of vision in there, a vizier. Okay? He was a high-ranking political advisor, minister, and chief administrator in Islamic states. Or, as we say, he was Pharaoh's right-hand man, Imhotep. Imhotep. A polymath and a vizier to the Pharaoh Djoser of the Third Dynasty. Okay? Imhotep, because of his knowledge and his wisdom and his engineering and architectural skills, was deified and was later called the god of medicine. He's the first doctor. Imhotep, damn it! Not no Hippocrates. Hippocrates studied from the black man, the Greek. Hippocrates is Greek. And they studied from the black man. Where did they study, Brother Rams? They studied in this great learning center in the Mali Empire called Timbuktu, one of the great libraries, one of the great learning centers of the world. run by another one of our brothers, but that's later on. That's Mansa Musa. Man, they had manuscripts of science and math and medicine and government and law. When the white invaders came, they burnt some of it, but then when they looked at it, they said, this is some heavy knowledge. And then they stole it and took it to Europe. That's the truth. You can take it or let it alone. Timbuktu was one of the great learning centers. And Hippocrates got his education from Timbuktu, from the black man. And by then, Imhotep had written many manuscripts in these areas because he was a heavy man. Remember, he was a polymath. He had deep, deep knowledge of science, math, architecture. And what he's famous for, he created. He was the designer of the step pyramid at Saqqara. He designed the step pyramid at Saqqara. In other words, you could walk up the step. That's architectural design. Designed by who? Imhotep I. And this was the first major stone building. Imhotep. He was deified. It was called the god of medicine. Not Hippocrates. Get that out your head, black people. And his bloodline wound up being a pharaoh. His son, one of his progeny, not such as his son, but one of his great-great-grandsons or whatever, his name was Imhotep IV, who later became Akhenaten and married Nefertiti. But that's for another day. I'm getting ahead of but I get excited when I get talking about black history, Beavers. I get excited. So, but this is the original Imhotep. He was the first doctor, architect, engineer, black man. So don't tell me you can't do science and math. Don't tell me engineering's too hard. You have that ability, black man and woman. And I'm going to show you that now. Imhotep. Now I got to try a queen. Got to do a queen too. Yep, got to do a queen. And the queen I'm choosing is a sister named Makeda, Queen of Sheba. Makeda, Queen of Sheba. Sounds like a rhyme, don't it, brothers and sisters? Makeda, the Queen of Sheba. She took a long journey to seek wisdom from King Solomon of Jerusalem. And that trip was from Ethiopia to Jerusalem. Why did she take this long trip to see King Solomon? To test the wisdom of King Solomon. What she did was give him complex riddles to solve and to learn from him. King Solomon, Queen Makeda. Now, who was King Solomon, Brother Rand? That's important to understand. And this is for y'all here, and this is good for our people to understand. King Solomon was the son of David. King Solomon was the son of David. And he was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Oh, shoot, Daryl. He was a descendant of the Israelites from the tribe of Judah. And historically, the tribe of Judah are black people. So you saying King Solomon was black? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. He even calls himself black. What do you mean? King Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. It says about King Solomon, I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar and the curtains of Solomon. In other words, those curtains were black as the ace of spades. You hear me? That's how black Solomon was. He's telling you right there, I'm black. So are you now inferring that the Hebrew Israelites are black? Yes, they are. I have no problem saying it. We're written all on the pyramid walls. And that picture they got of Hebrew Israelites are not Caucasian. I'm sorry, but I got to tell you the truth, brothers and sisters. You are the original Hebrew Israelite. That's not to say others didn't come after, but you were the first Hebrew Israelite. And that's who King Solomon was. So Makeda went to go see King Solomon. Okay? She went to go see King Solomon. And what she did was, after seeing him, she established a powerful diplomatic alliance with Jerusalem. There's a sister and a brother. And then what they did was they showered and exchanged expensive gifts with Solomon. He gave her expensive stuff. She gave him expensive stuff. What else she did was she introduced the Judeo-Christian beliefs to her kingdom in Ethiopia, the Judeo-Christian. She bore a son, his Menelik I was Solomon. Menelik I. And Menelik I was the first emperor of Ethiopia. Menelik I. Later I'll talk about Menelik II. But who are Menelik I's parents? The Queen of Sheba and King Solomon, two black people. She reigned as a powerful and independent ruler. She ruled a wealthy, technologically advanced empire. She ruled during the 10th century, 1000 BCE, which means before the Common Era. Another word for saying before Christ. She ruled from 1000 BCE to 901 BCE. That was Queen Makeda. And that's how powerful she is. So the two are Imhotep I, an Egyptian. And remember, Egypt ain't some strange country. They're African countries. The Sudan and Nubia, they're African countries. So this is what he did. He ruled. She ruled. So we got Imhotep, the god of medicine, and we got my sister, the Queen of Sheba, Makeda. Makeda, Queen of Sheba. So these are two powerful queen and later on to become kings. His he wasn't a king or pharaoh. He was a polymath and a vizier, but his progeny went on to become pharaohs. His progeny went on to become pharaohs. like Imhotep the Third, Imhotep the Fourth. They became pharaohs. Okay, brothers and sisters. So that's back in Alkebulan. In Alkebulan, you call it Africa, but its name is Alkebulan. Now I'm coming across the water, and now I'm going to deal with some black scientists and inventors. But before I start, I got two things to say, since right now we're dealing with the Olympics, brothers and sisters. Is that correct? We're dealing with the Olympics. And one of the things I want to talk about is about a couple of our sisters that are in the Olympics right now. A couple of our sisters that are in the Olympics. I just got to get their names here. Hold on. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. I have this. In 1 second. There's two sisters. One of them is Erin Jackson. She's a speed skater, 33 years old. She's in the U.S. Olympics now. She's in the U.S. Olympics now. And she's in the Olympics. That's right. Her name is Erin Jackson. She's 33-year-old. And she's the first black woman to win an individual Winter Olympics gold medal. She did it in speed skating in 2022. Erin Jackson. She was born in Osceola, Florida. 33 years old. Won a gold medal in speed skating in Florida, practicing in Florida. So I want to say her first, Black History, because she's in the Winter Olympics. Brothers and sisters, if you're watching it and you're watching speed skating, look for that name, Erin Jackson. Applaud that sister, support her. So maybe, hopefully, there'll be some more other little Erin Jacksons coming along, breaking all kind of records, because that's the greatness and goodness of God. The second sister her name is Layla Edwards. Okay? She's the first black woman on the U.S. Women Olympic hockey team. Hockey? Oh, yeah, we play hockey. Let me give you a little history. There's a gentleman named Willie O'Ree. Played for the Boston Bruins back in 1957. First black hockey player. Willie O'Ree. But Layla Edwards, all right, she's on the Olympics. She's 22. She was born January 25th, 2004. She played on the University of Wisconsin women's hockey team. And get this, she's a defenseman. She's about 6 feet tall. Good God Almighty, that's a big sister there. She knocked them suckers out. She can play her some hockey now. Two black women at the Winter Olympics I want you all to pay attention to. Two black women. That's Erin Jackson, speed skating, Layla Edwards in U.S. Olympic hockey for women. All right. Now we're coming back across the water. So now we're going to deal with some black folks, scientists and inventors. And the first one I want to talk about is a sister. She was born in November 4th, 1942. Unfortunately, she passed away May 30th, 2019. And her name is listen to this, Dr. Patricia Bath. You know, like you take a bath. She invented the laser phaco, some kind of laser phaco. It's a special machine. And what it does, it probes for cataracts. She was an American ophthalmologist. Patricia Bath. She got a BA from Manhattan in Manhattan from a school called Hunter College, and she went to Howard University Med School. Dr. Patricia Bath, pioneer, inventor, extensive work. She holds 5 patents. Good God, man. She holds 5 patents. Dr. Patricia Bath. Young black women, you can do anything you want. Science, math, you can do. The history points to it, brothers and sisters. The history points to it. The second sister I'm talking about, another doctor. Got to mention that sister. Her name is Kizzmekia Corbett Hilaire. Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett Hilaire. What did she do? She's a viral immunologist. Good Lord, brother. This sister a viral immunologist? In other words, she studies viruses and the immune system. Viruses and how they relate to the immune system. This is who she is. Dr. Hilaire. She was born January 26, 1986. She did extensive work in developing the COVID-19 vaccine. And so, in fact, she's one of the main researchers on the Moderna mRNA vaccination. She did her undergrad work at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. She did her undergrad work there. And then she went on later to go to med school at UNC at Charlotte. UNC at Charlotte. So right now we got Dr. Patricia Bath, Dr. Kizzmekia Hilaire, and the third sister I'm going to talk about. And everybody got one of these. As a matter of fact, I want you to think about this. Remember, right now that lady, Nancy, I think her name is Nancy, escapes me. Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie. She's missing. What's one of the things they're constantly searching and looking for? What are the things that were disarmed? Guess what they were? Remember the home security cameras? I got a third sister right now. Know what her name is? Her name is Marie Van Britten Brown. Marie Van Britten Brown invented the first closed circuit television home security system. This is a sister. She was born October 30th, 22, died February 2nd, in 99. Marie Van Britten Brown developed a home security system. How many people today got a home security system? In 1966, she made it, and then it was patented in 1969. She invented it in 66, it was patented in 1969. Black woman. Okay? She designed a pioneering 4-peephole voice-capable system. Voice-capable with a remote panic button. So if something were to happen, you hit the button, it sends the alert that there's a panic, that something, an emergency has developed. This comes from our friend, who? Marie Van Britten Brown. So who are the three? Again, Dr. Bath, Dr. Hilaire, and the third one is Marie Brown. Home security, development of the Moderna virus vaccine, and a machine from Dr. Bath to deal with cataracts in our eyes. And that's very common among especially older people. Those are some of the sisters. But you know I got to do the brothers too. So we're going to do some brothers. Got to do the brothers too. First one is Thomas Jennings. And he was born free. 1791. Damn, Brother Ram, he went back, yeah? He was born free, though. Okay? He's known to be the first black American to hold a patent. And what he do? He invented a dry scouring process, which became the precursor of modern dry cleaning. He's the father of dry cleaning because he found a way to do what we call dry scouring, to clean without using no kind of liquid, no kind of water. Thomas Jennings, born in 1791. He established his own tailor and dry cleaning businesses. Several of them he had. Cleaning and dry cleaning. He was a tailor. Thomas Jennings, brother. Next brother. This is a hell of a brother here. And it's something that a lot of people take for granted. When you go in your house, what's the first thing when you go to go in your house? What is the first thing you touch? What is the first thing you touch? When you're going out your house, what's the thing you touch on the door? This brother here, his name is Osborne Dorsey. He invented the doorknob. Now we take that for granted. Oh, yeah, door came with the doorknob, didn't it? No, it did not. No, it did not. People used to have to close the door, put a little rope on it to pull it open and to close it. But he actually invented the doorknob and the handle, the door handle. But the thing was that they could be easily manufactured and mass produced. That was the greatness of what he did, Mr. Osborne Dorsey. He was born in 1862, got his U.S. patent in 1878 for his invention. Osborne Dorsey. Brother Osborne Dorsey, the doorknob. And like I said before, the traffic light. Garrett Morgan. The gas mask, Garrett Morgan. The elevator, Alexander Miles. The stethoscope, Thomas Carrington. These are people you got to teach our children. Teach them the everyday things that they see, that when they see it, now it'll give them a trigger in their brain to say, wait a minute, a black man made that. When they go open up the door in the house, they say, Osborne Dorsey made this. Now I'm going to give you a third one. Brother, brilliant brother. His name is Jan or Jan, I call it Jan, Ernst Matzelinger. Jan Ernst Matzelinger. And he invented the shoe-lasting machine. He built the first shoe-lasting machine. And what it would do was, the machine was designed to make the leather uppers, look at a shoe, there's the leather uppers, fit flawlessly within the mold of the lower. So let's picture this, brother. You have the upper piece, and then you have the lower piece, and he fit them together perfectly. And then they stitched all around them. What did that allow? Now, normally shoes back then would take forever because you'd have to hand stitch, make adjustments, all kind of stuff. So to make a pair of shoes was like almost an act of Congress. But what he did was this efficiency drastically improved production of shoes. And because it improved the mass production of shoes, guess what that did to the price of shoes? It caused it to drop. Because remember, the supply now becomes greater than the demand. And so the prices have to drop. That's Jan Ernst Matzlinger, brothers and sisters. Let me go over them again. 3 famous black men inventors. Again. First one, Thomas Jennings. Thomas Jennings. What did he do? Thomas Jennings, he was the first black man to hold a patent. And he's the father of dry cleaning. Thomas Jennings. First black man on a patent. Second black man, Osborne Dorsey, the doorknob, the door handle. Third person, men, Jan Ernest Matzlinger, the shoe-lasting machine. Revolutionized the whole shoemaking business. Those are 3 brothers. 3 sisters, Dr. Patricia Bath, cataracts. Next sister, Kizzmekia Hilaire, important research in the COVID-19 vaccine. Played a heavy role in the development of Moderna's mRNA vaccine. And the third was our friend, our sister, Miss Marie Van Britten Brown. Marie Van Britten Brown, the home security system. So there you have it, brothers and sisters, and that'll be my format for the rest of it, for always, really. I'm not going to stop at the end of February. I'm always going to give you Black history. So, as I say, I want all my brothers and sisters to take the time to study their history, teach their children their history. Start with something very simple. You can do Black inventors. If you talk in America, you can do Black kings and queens. They have resources for children. But all you got to do is go to the computer and look it up. So again, I want you to understand. And another thing, I want to cry from everybody. I want to cry from everybody to study their history and to demand that the Native American be part of the negotiation when we talk about immigration. Because the Caucasian brothers get a chance to talk about immigration, but they don't want to include the original people that they stole the land from. If we're going to have an honest, open talk about immigration, let's talk about it with all those who have been involved. So I'm calling again for the Native American to be activists to be brought to the table when it talks about immigration. And then we can get a true fit of what this is about. So again, brothers and sisters, I thank you so much for listening. May God bless you. Keep you safe. Keep praying. And Black people in particular. But most important, I don't want to say Black people. I changed that. I want all people to study Black history. Because this is the story of the original people. These are the same people that you came from. But these are the same people that you look down your nose at. That you look at with a disparaging eye. That you've been told are less than you. Remember, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. The Negro is 3/5 of a human. And Dr. Carter G. Woodson, take my hat off to you, Doctor, because you know the Negro had to learn something about himself because he saw the Negro being indoctrinated into some foolishness. And that's why he deemed it the miseducation of the Negro. And that's why it always attracted me, because I've been in education all my life. So why did he call it the miseducation of the Negro? And when I started reading it, I said, oh, without a doubt it is. Because the education that the Negro gets in America does not teach him about himself. And there's where it lacks. Every other race of people is allowed to learn about themselves except the black man. And again, you're the only race of people in America that were allowed to be killed without any punishment. The perpetrator didn't have to worry about being punished. So I want you to understand this. Very important. And black folks in general right now, we must come together. Our unity is important. It is of the utmost importance. Because right now, we have a white supremacist, white nationalist in the White House. We have to prepare. And what do we do to prepare? We unify. We come together. We learn our story. We go to the principles of Kwanzaa. I'm giving the solution, black man and woman. We go to the principles of Kwanzaa that go back, that has allowed us to survive. We've survived white supremacist presidents. This ain't the first one. Because we're God's original people. And he's not going to destroy us. You got to believe that. So again, thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. May God bless you. Keep your family safe. Keep praying, because all of this will change. Have a good day. And as I say, God bless you all.